Hey guys, Pie Guy Rules here, back for part 2 of my Spongebob rant. This will be the second and last part of the rant, as I only intended on going 10 minutes, but originally it formed about 12 minutes, and instead of just kind of making it shorter, I just lengthened it by a few minutes, making each part about 7 or 8 minutes or so. So anyway, there are two main issues I want to bring up in this part, and the first of these issues being new episode airings. I.e. the time and place Nickelodeon's been airing SpongeBob. And the other issue is the SpongeBob formula, and I'll get into what that means in a second. But first, we'll go back to time slot. Now, in earlier days, back when both Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network were quote unquote good, in my opinion, you see, they had things called programming blocks. You see, and during these programming blocks, they would air new episodes or special episodes or just do all sorts of awesome things. They don't really do that much anymore. Not on Nickelodeon, as a matter of fact, at all. They got rid of You Pick Live and Friday Night Slime Time and all those all a bunch of other things that I could go on listing, but I'm sure you all already know them, so I don't really need to tell you. Same thing with Cartoon Network, only with Cartoon Network it was always bigger and better in the form of Toonami and Cartoon Fridays, but both of those have gone by the wayside, and that's not the point of this rant. No, the point is that if you're going to air new episodes, usually a Friday night time slot or a Saturday night time slot will be good, with proper commercial airings throughout the week to notify the children and viewers exactly when this SpongeBob is going to be on, when this new episode will be on. You know, if nobody knows there's going to be a new episode, it doesn't matter if it's the best episode in the world because nobody will ever see it. So yeah, unfortunately, Nickelodeon's big plan nowadays is air 5 new episodes in a row all week long. Not only that, but these 5 episodes aren't even full-length episodes. They're 11-minute episodes, which are kind of like half. It's each episode, each 30-minute or 22-minute episode is filled with 2 11-minute episodes, but they're supposed to be aired as the 2 11-minute episodes because most cartoons are aired in 22-minute segments. So I take a lot of issue to this for a couple of reasons. Well, Nickelodeon does it so often that it's burning through its new episodes instead of making them last, just meaning that they're going to keep needing more and more and more new episodes. And the less new episodes, the better at this point. And another problem that raises is the simple fact that kids aren't always have the free time of sitting down at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock every day for the entire week to catch new SpongeBob. I mean, it might even be better to air 4 or 5 new episodes on just one night, but they've done that too, and it still doesn't work out quite right because you feel very overwhelmed by it. You'll have 4 new episodes, 5 new episodes in a row, either in the week or like 4 new episodes on Thanksgiving, back to back to back, as Nickelodeon likes to say. And then you'll go about 7 months or 10 months without a new episode, and I think it'd be better to space them out more evenly. Just because it helps people see them. It allows more time for commercials, to advertise the new episodes when they do come, and such. So time slot is a big issue when it comes to new episodes, and so really Nickelodeon needs to get some sort of constant airing of new episodes at this point. The problem with that is they don't have enough shows that actually are airing new episodes at the moment. So new episodes are almost a rare occurrence now on Nickelodeon. It's become almost a rerun network, and unfortunately most of those reruns consist of SpongeBob and a few lesser shows. Now, about the SpongeBob formula that I mentioned earlier. What it is, in my mind at least, is that SpongeBob has its own little formula for episodes, and they break away from this formula a lot in later episodes, and I'll give you an example. Alright, the SpongeBob formula pretty much consists of A. Give SpongeBob just some really mundane task that he just happens to screw up in just so many different weird ways and just so many odd things happen. That's pretty much it. You just need to give him a very basic task, and it's comedy gold. Like the classic episode Wet Painters. All you had to do was paint Mr. Krabs' room, but just look what happened with that. Hilarious. Seriously, hilarious. or the one where he gets stuck at that place, rock bottom, wherever it was. All he's trying to do is get back to his town, but hey, when your town is about 500 feet up, it's not as easy as you might think it'd be. Now, there were some diversions from the standard formula, especially noticeable in the movie, obviously, because it is a movie. It has to have more than just SpongeBob getting his mail. Um, and in later episodes, they do sometimes have the formula. Like, there was one where, speaking of SpongeBob gets mail, there was one where SpongeBob waits for his toy to be delivered in the mail, and Patrick joins him. But the problem with that is, those episodes are few and far between. You see, in the later seasons, especially the one that we're on now, whatever it is, season 7, 6, 28, I don't really know or care. The point is, the one that we're on now is just kind of featuring, like, okay, we have this huge idea. We're gonna make SpongeBob wash ashore on in a distant island, and he'll have to surf his way back home, and Mr. Krabs will be trapped in some other area, and it's like it's not necessary. It's like you're trying too hard. You know, I mean, I'd expect that kind of plot from a movie, and as a matter of fact, it is spoofing a movie. Now, exactly which movie, I'm not entirely sure. It spoofs probably many, but the point of it is, SpongeBob doesn't really need to be a parody show. I mean, it can have little pieces of parodies in it, but the whole comedy concept comes from SpongeBob just doing mundane things like going to boating school or just working as a fry cook. Like, that's you can't go wrong with simple SpongeBob. The more complex you try to make these storylines, the more it just gets ugh. Like, you know what I mean. If you've watched pretty much every episode of SpongeBob, as I have, I've watched every episode seasons 1 through 5, and 6 and 7 I've seen scattered episodes, but if you've been following SpongeBob for as long as I have, then you'll definitely notice that is the pattern of quite a few episodes, and some of the episodes that I would deem not so great, which includes the big one, except for that little Davy Jones cameo, it wasn't really that good. So most of those episodes are pretty much distant from the SpongeBob formula. And the reason I don't like the big one or the Kahuna or whatever the name of that one is, it's the one that I mentioned earlier where SpongeBob washes ashore. It's just because it's too long and drawn out, and it's like, you know what's gonna happen. There's not really any real surprise gags in there except for the Davy Jones part. And if you don't know what I mean, you have to see it for just that part. Like, you won't expect it. I won't give away any more details because you just don't expect it. Aside from that, it's just like so played out and boring. And I mean, I know I'm an older kid watching it, but even I know when little kids should laugh at something. Like, I mean, I understand that I wouldn't laugh at all of the jokes at even earlier SpongeBob episodes now that I'm a teenager, but I can still see them as comedy to younger children and comedy to even older children, which is what SpongeBob was good for at one point. A lot of Nickelodeon shows did that, where it made parts that appealed to the older generation, including double entendres and all sorts of adult stuff. But SpongeBob's it's just fizzled out, really. And I saw in the comments of part 1, someone mentioned The Simpsons and how it's been running strong for 20 seasons. Yes and no. The Simpsons has been running for 20 seasons. That much I will admit. The Simpsons is an amazing show. That I will admit also. However, episodes from seasons 1 through maybe like 7 or 10 are considerably stronger than the ones you'll see now. And the ones you'll see now are pretty dang good. They haven't fizzled out as much as SpongeBob has. However, you won't really see any really influential episodes like you would have back in the day. Like Lisa's Substitute, or Lisa the Vegetarian, or Homer's Triple Bypass. Like, you won't see good stories like that anymore on The Simpsons. I know this isn't a Simpsons rant, but I just wanted to make that little equation of how it's inevitable with however many seasons. If you have a long TV show, it's inevitable that it will go down in quality somewhat. But as with The Simpsons, it doesn't have to go down entirely. There are still a lot of good episodes of The Simpsons coming out newer, just not as many that were as amazing as the first part. Well, I'm running out of time. I'm Pie Guy Rules. Join me in my next rant, whatever that may be. Pie Guy Rules, out.